When I plan my attack, when I plan my attack, I doubt that you're ready. Rhymes like bullets penetrate your zone. One time on the MIC. When I plan my attack, I doubt that you're ready. Rhymes like bullets penetrate your zone. On the MIC.
Yeah. White on the track again, PPL is back again, coming for the Patty's twins, cause she the champion. It's the Pantheon Cup we all battle for. When rivals get to scrapping, it's a savage war. This is what we waited for. Finally, y'all, the time is here. Fantasy is back, my favorite fucking time of year. Light your bloods a tie now. PPL is live now, the show where shit gets real, dog. We're all after the pie now. Geno in the jet, he hosts the show, uploading videos. He does it all from A to Z. You like the league to pay the fee or win it all and play for free. Play to be the best or lazy. It's a league of competition, still the crown, that's the mission. Dog, it's time to get it cracking, plan your moves and start attacking. PPL is back in action, teams get mad, you know what happens. Hate each other, play with passion, build a team with trades and drafting. I think I done said my part, it's time for PPL to start.
When I plan my attack, I doubt that you're ready. Rhymes like bullets penetrate your zone.
And with the conclusion of interconference warfare, we enter week 9 PPL Live. We are officially on the road to Pantheon Cup 13. We resume conference play with a full slate of matchups for week 9. But before we get into week 9, you know we got to take an eye back to week 8. Starting with our week 8 scores, beginning with Patty's Twins winning big, giving the Argonauts their first defeat of the season, 132-97. The Baby Gas team sneaks by 1-point victory over Appease the Gods who couldn't get right, 99-98. The Skulls hold on and get the big win, enter back into conference play looking strong, 126 to only for the Bosses 116. Squad underestimated stays alive, gets a huge win over the United Players the Destroyers, 123-116. And the GAFF attack gets the win, 118-50. All right, and now we're going to get you into fantasy trends presented by Snickers, giving you our final standing projections. Starting at number 10, the Mean Machine, still sitting at the bottom of the league. Number 9, despite the big victory, the Baby Gas team. At 8, we have only for the boss in a true free fall. What's going on there? Those Chiefs are reflecting the boss's position. Number 7, the United Players, the Destroyers, obviously reeling from the loss of Derrick Henry. At number 6, we have Squad underestimated, trying to claw their way back into contention. At 5, the GAFF, one of the biggest risers of the entire season, coming into the home stretch looking strong. At number 4, Appease the Gods, reeling right now, but they can get back on track. At 3, Patty's Twins, once again looking like the toast of the town as the PPL champions. At number 2, the Skulls. And at number 1, the Argonauts at 7-1. All right. So now we're going to get into Geno's good, bad, and ugly. Obviously, there is no Ulysses S. Hate today. So we're going to get into the good, bad, and ugly. Starting with my good. My good is Patty's Twins. Huge victory last week, giving the Argonauts their first loss of the season in a leave no doubt effort. Scoring was low all across the league, but the Twins found a way to get it done with 28 from Matthew Stafford. A big, strong performance from Austin Eckler, and obviously Jonathan Taylor, who turned in a great performance to start week 9 already, had a huge week at that time, and Michael Pittman is starting to emerge. Everything's starting to look good for the Twins at the right time of the season. My bad is the United Players, the Destroyers. The loss of Derrick Henry is going to loom large for this team. They're going to have to figure out what they're going to do to replace his production. That's the most productive running back in the PPL. So it's going to be a very, very tough road for the United Players. But it's only bad because they do have a lot of depth. They have a lot of playmakers and a lot of talent. But they've got to get back on track, especially after that ugly loss to Squad underestimated. So my bad is the United Players, the Destroyers. And my ugly is only for the boss. It's gotten ugly. And they've got a very tough matchup with the Argonauts coming up this week. But the reason it's ugly for the boss right now is because they started the season 3-1. They have now lost, I believe, 4 straight. So they have really taken a nosedive. Yes, 4 straight. They've taken a real nosedive, and so have their playoff chances. Only for the boss is in very, very critical territory at this point in the season, and no one would have expected that. So that's my ugly. With that said, we're going to get into our Week 9 matchups, starting with our first matchup in the Alpha Conference, as 2 teams with a very intertwined history mix it up. We got the Trade Bowl going down as Mean Machine takes on Squad Underestimated. All right, so obviously this matchup between Mean Machine and Squad Underestimated is one that the Squad needs for any chance at the playoffs. They cannot lose this matchup. On the Mean Machine side, I don't know if they would like to play spoilers. Their lineup leaves a lot to be desired, but they're doing the best with what they can. I like Khalil Herbert. He's emerged as a pretty good running back for the Chicago Bears. Justin Herbert is obviously a great play week in and week out. And Zach Moss has potential to get dumb. Michael Carter obviously provided 9.1 on Thursday night, and that's a solid play from the flex. And the Fear-Muth play isn't a bad play at tight end. That Las Vegas defense may come back to haunt them, and they don't have a coach in, making me question how much effort they're really trying to put into winning this week. Now, on Squad Underestimated side, looks like there's not going to be any Kyler Murray in the lineup, so they're going to go with Kirk Cousins. Kirk really laid an egg in a plus matchup, I thought, on Sunday Night Football without Dak Prescott in the lineup. He didn't play well at all in a home game. It's going to be a little tougher going to Baltimore. Now, Baltimore's defense has not played well, but Kirk Cousins doesn't play well against teams who put pressure on him. Looks like Christian McCaffrey may be getting back into the lineup. He has not been activated from IR yet, and the status is up in the air. But if he plays, that gives Squad Underestimated probably no real excuse to lose this matchup. And I don't think he has an excuse to lose this matchup either way. Amari Cooper showed what he can do. Adam Thielen had a great game, and Kyle Pitts is emerging. I've got Squad Underestimated winning this matchup. Season of no excuses to continue, and there's no excuse here to not win. I got Squad getting this one 131 to the Mean Machines 108. And moving on to our next matchup, we go into a crucial matchup of Omega Conference top teams. 2 teams who need this victory very badly. We got the United Players, the Destroyers, coming off of a loss, going up against the Skulls, coming off of a huge win. All right, so obviously this matchup is going to be a big one for the Skulls to widen their lead in the playoff hunt, as well as make their claim for a spot in the Omega Conference Championship race. I'm looking at the United Players. There's going to be no Tom Brady, no Rob Gronkowski, no Chris Godwin, no DeAndre Swift. That's going to be a huge hit to their lineup. Now, they obviously have DeMichael Nichols and Tua Tagovailoa on their bench. I think they're going to go with those 2. Devin Singletary played well for them earlier in the season, but he's kind of disappeared. He's going to need his LA receivers to do big things, and he's going to have to hope that flex with Emmanuel Sanders is ready to go. Now, on the Skull side, they're locked and loaded. I love the Aaron Jones play without Aaron Rodgers in the lineup. They're going to have to lean on the run, especially against a Kansas City team that they'll probably want to grind the clock against. Darrell Henderson Jr., I've talked about this kid week in and week out. I love what he brings to the table. Very, very fast runner, extremely good receiver, and is underrated between the tackles. The LA Rams got a home run player, and even when Cam Akers comes back, I think that he's going to be behind Mr. Henderson. Jamar Chase obviously has emerged as the number 2 receiver in the entire league. This was the home run pick of the entire draft, and the Skulls continue to reap the benefits. I expect him to bounce back with a big game against Cleveland. A little bit of a crapshoot with Christian Kirk, but he's a high upside play. And obviously Darren Waller and Harris get into the lineup. I got the Skulls getting this victory over the United Players, the Destroyers, and really making their mark this season and staking their claim for a run in the playoffs. 138 to the United Players, 112. And moving on to our next matchup, we go into a matchup crucial for the boss, as the Argonauts are in clinch mode, as we got the Argonauts taking on only for the boss. Alrighty, you guys, you know what this one's about. Only for the boss is clawing for their life. The Argonauts are clawing for the number 1 seed. Going into this one is star-studded all the way across the board. We got Devontae Adams against Stephon Diggs, George Kittle against Travis Kelce, Kittle getting back in the lineup, Dak Prescott against Patrick Mahomes, Ezekiel Elliott going up against Tyreek Hill in the flex, everywhere you look, it's star-studded. This matchup should be a very, very good one. And there's a lot of reason for optimism for only for the boss. No Aaron Rodgers in the lineup means that the Packers are going to have to be in situations where they won't be able to control the ball as well as they probably would expect, giving the Chiefs more opportunities. Now, they did not look very good on Monday Night Football. Patrick Mahomes, once again, had issues with turnovers. But this Chiefs team is too good to ever really count out. And against the Packers, who aren't known for their defense, I think that at home, I think that they're going to be able to get some momentum, especially coming off of a victory. Chase Edmonds against the 49ers. I think they're going to have to lean on the run a little bit more, and Chase might be a good play. And I love the Bart Scott pickup by only for the boss. He went Kenneth Gainwell, wasn't actually the guy who was getting the majority of the touches in that backfield, and the boss adjusted. And me and Ulysses have talked about that offseason, adjusting to what you see on the field. On the Argonaut side, they finally lost. They got their first loss of the season out of the way, and the real reason for it was that it just kind of sputtered out. 97-point effort. No Dak Prescott. A lot was going on that matchup. But the Patty Twins was the better team, and the better team won. Now, this week, I expect the Argonauts to bounce back with a great matchup for Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott against the Denver Broncos. I'm also looking at a matchup here with Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook against Baltimore. Baltimore has ceded a lot of yardage this year, and that game could get high scoring, especially with what Lamar Jackson can bring to the table. George Kittle's return is going to be a big one for the Argo. We're going to have to see if they can match what Travis Kelce can potentially bring to the table. That's the trump card for only for the boss. That being said, this is I think this matchup season defining for both of these teams. But I'm going to lean towards the Argonauts on their way to clinching the Alpha Conference title. I got the Argonauts winning this matchup 141 to only for the Bosses 137. I think it's going to be very high scoring and very close. But the Argonauts find a way to clinch the Alpha Conference extremely early. And moving on to our next matchup, we go into our Interconference matchup of the week as Patty's Twins takes on the Baby Gas team. All right, so the Baby Gas team has been reeling from injuries, getting into a matchup with the Patty's Twins team rolling on all cylinders. This was my good for week 8. They looked awesome and leaving no doubt last week. They finally got Matthew Stafford into the lineup, who has been an awesome play for them. And I think that is going to continue this week with Aaron Rodgers having COVID. Obviously, Thursday night, Jonathan Taylor got them off to a beautiful start with a 35-point effort, along with Michael Pittman, who's starting to emerge, as I talked about earlier. Now, the Baby Gas team was smart to get that Colts coach in there, a very, very smart play on their end. That's going to probably help them stay in this matchup if they're able to stay in it. I like the Ryan Tannehill play. I think that Matthew Stafford, Ryan Tannehill play is going to be fun to watch on Sunday Night Football, and I think it's going to be pretty high scoring in that game. Josh Jacobs finally gets back into the lineup, and DJ Moore and Deontay Johnson are also going to be available for the BGT. Those are going to be the plays that are going to really determine if the BGT can even keep this close, because obviously at the current moment they are down 54-16. That being said, we obviously have a lot of insight already into this matchup, and it's a little easier for me to pick. Outside of maybe an epic performance from a Deontay Johnson, a Ryan Tannehill, or a Josh Jacobs, I don't see the Baby Gas team coming back. I got Patty's Twins getting out in front, getting ready for that Omega Conference home run push. I got the Twins getting this victory 140 to the Baby Gas team's 120. And moving on to our prestige matchup of the week. We have a huge one for both of these Omega Conference teams. Old school, original 5 rivalry of the PPL as the GAFF attack surging, taking on perhaps the fading APPEASE the God. Alrighty, so this matchup has a lot of exciting plays in it. Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson on top of the marquee. 2 of the more dangerous dual threat quarterbacks in the game. Obviously, Lamar being number 1 in that category. The GAFF brings in their receiving core. We'll see if DeAndre Hopkins plays tomorrow. And then obviously, only for the boss has that connection with Mark Andrews. And I love the Brandon Cooks play. This matchup is really about momentum here. I do like the GAFF's momentum coming into this matchup. I like the Devontae Williams play. It looks like Melvin Gordon's, he may be injured. I'm not sure, but I like the play just because Devontae's shown all year that he's going to be a part of that offense, and he does have a nose for yardage, and he's got enough for the end zone also. Justin Tucker is a great play because only for the Appease the Gods is very, very dependent on the Baltimore offense. That Pittsburgh play on Monday night against Chicago is a great play. And I'm kind of worried about ATG's flex position. They've got Jared Cook in there. He's a good play, but I think that they could probably even find something a little better on free agency. Buys are hitting ATG hard with Mike Evans and Tyler Lockett not being in the lineup. But the GAFF is also missing Leonard Fournette. Now, where this matchup really is a mismatch is at the receiver and flex spots. Like I said, CeeDee Lamb going up against that Denver defense that's beat up, and with Dak Prescott coming into the lineup is a great play. And A.J. Brown, with no Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown is now going to be the focal point of that offense. And I think that continues the GAFF surge here. There's reason to like ATG. I think Brandon Cooks could have a huge game in Miami, and you never know what Devonta Smith can bring. He's very unpredictable. But the flex play is giving me room for concern, and the Cincinnati hurt ATG huge last week. Kind of surprising to see them stick with that. That being said, I got the GAFF attack continuing their surge as the hottest team in the PPL, going to 5 straight. I got the GAFF attack winning this matchup 124 to HEG's 115. Alrighty, PPLers, thanks for another great week of PPL Live. A little bit of a condensed week. We got it in late this week, but hey, I'm ready for tomorrow. I hope you guys are too. Obviously, we saw Jonathan Taylor get the Twins out to a huge lead on Thursday night, setting them up pretty for tomorrow with the Rams and Matthew Stafford on Sunday night. And then we close out on Monday night with Najee Harris and those Pittsburgh Steelers and the Argonauts and the defense for the GAFF, trying to see if they can hold off on ATG. You guys have a great weekend.